coyotes were singing just a minute ago. And me and you met a friend, didn't you? Dog man always got Beethoven. Anyway, Jingo, yeah, there was something very odd today. I'm gonna speak on it because if I'm right about it, then they can see, but that's also just part of the show. It's like a weird fetish. Okay, let's go see if I can catch some of this coyote song. No, I'll be right back, baby. I gotta start singing. Oh, we're out there looking at the goats. Really wish I had a camera. Keep trying to get it on. It's been drone footage. Look, let me tell you. You know the things you're being gang stalked? And I'm not saying that I am. But think of it like this: when you make it your show, I mean, awareness will never happen. People don't believe things that are right in front of them. People wonder why aliens don't come down in their fleets and destroy us, because they have not fleets. The ones that are still around don't have fleets. They don't have armies. And there are no masses. I heard the coyotes this thing. And like, here's a weird thing about this area I'm in. We'll call it Wallachia County, Georgia. Particularly the Devil's Hollow. That's actually the real regional name for where I'm at, but well, you won't find it on the map, but yeah. Anyway, there's a part there'll be a creek if you read me. Anyway, so there's something about this like place, and I may just be like preaching to the masses here if everybody else in the world is like some weird. Look, at the very least, like random junkies are being paid to come around me, and what I've been feeling is their apprehension. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. Like, to watch me for what reason, I don't know, but it's on a scale, like, I know I'm not getting into all this shit. Look, if you're being gang stalked, you're the house money. They're all just fucking supposed high rollers. They can't even keep all their ops in motion. Smart gambling's one thing, good about the squad another. Or does that go the other way? Hundreds of times now. Jack Kerouac said that and said I was my only witness, and that's why it'd be even if people were watching me. So I'm like telling you what thinks that. Maybe. But it might not be just you, and it might not be everybody. If you assume they have all the power that you assume they have, then couldn't they also make unwilling participants? Participants? What the fuck? Unwilling participants? Sorry, my dad's here, so. Like, wouldn't children just eventually be breeded into a second nature? And I'm not talking about having to be caressed by their parents. Hi, baby. I don't know about this, buddy. Winter. That's just from chicks mix there. From some place, I think Australia for the coyote, Canada for the deer. Nothing here, there's nothing here but rodents. It's like when they talked about Eden being a land that only, well, they didn't say this, but I've heard in a dream. The Eden was a place where four rivers met. Check and accept. Recreational projects. Make it not look like the four rivers meet, but the Seneca, the Savannah, and fuck and shit. I can't think of the other ones, but all would meet, or this large reservoir. in the southeast U.S. is. See, here's what and I only know this because this is all blueprinted in this. Anybody that, and yeah, we're gonna be very different. Like everybody's different, you know. People say people are all the same. I mean, it's even a wheats and the tares situation, and no, people are not all the same. Like I struggle to find any two people. I mean, maybe they have a combination. Maybe they're alike in their deep. A lot of times they reach the same bitterness, the same ploy, and they are trying to break me, and they're trying to break you maybe. If someone's trying to break you, it probably just wants to know what you're made of, so they can reproduce it. But you know, look into any reverse engineering, you'll see more than a few hiccups. It's weird. When I step on this side of the house, everything is just as it was when my grandparents were alive. Well, a lot messier. I step on this side of the house. That's the motel room from Helen back when I met you, Junko. Yeah, I talk to somebody sometimes called Junko. You probably won't hear her comment because she knows all this. Yes, that's her real name. We're not scared. As far as we can tell, we're either the only ones. Last few, I think that's it, or the beginning of a new, and that's also it. And they really want to make that not happen. If two of you meet, they'll fucking flip. Look, I'm not gonna get into it because anybody can make a fucking argument that it's weird because, like, you know, everything says go, get out. Like, somebody could think this was on a high scale. This shit that's happening. And I'm just not entertaining the idea of that. I do not live as if it happened. That's what I'm saying. Make it your fucking show. Like, there's so much I can do. It does seem like I cannot get out, and that's exactly what they want me to do. That. So it seems like there's opposing forces here. Fighting over me, I could say, but maybe maybe I'm of it. I think they were also of it, but they have sold, or some of them have just always been at doing this. Whole families that are meant to careen down a generational path that eventually ends up at a place that the people did not think of God investing in Abraham and the whole, you know, Sarah situations, and, you know, just to make Isaac, just to make so-and-so, just to make da-da-da-da-da. Just to make what? Himself. That's what we're constantly doing. Abraham said, "Where is the promised land?" God broke his rib and says, "Where you lay." There's significance in the rib part of that. And there's significance, yeah, that's got to do with the woman there. Because some of these people are odd. And I don't mean interesting, I just mean, no, these people up here, I don't know if they're in on all this, but they seem okay-ish. The black guy, Mike, he seems cool, but I mean, I don't know him, but I'm saying I've talked to him, I spoke to him briefly, he seems cool. The other people all seem to know each other. I'm not sure he's part of that. He kind of seems like the classic guy you'd see around here in a lot of ways. Maybe they're not from here, though, because there's a bit of a regionalism, maybe Tennessee, if I had to guess. North Carolina, Virginia, something like that. Black people regionalisms are different than white people, but, you know, not. I mean, just slightly. Because every white guy kind of sounds southern. Almost every white guy kind of sounds southern. And everybody knows what the fuck reason that was. But see, here's the thing. That's what I'm saying about these people. Like, if we were born into a culture where we thought that it wouldn't be about morality. We are black and white as fuck about everything. The psychiatric industry, how people treat supposed criminals of any kind. Like, people get blind as fuck to that. So everybody is programmed to some extent. I'm not actually. I'm actually religious. I'm not. See, look, and also, I was built despite pride. I've got fucking videos on here. They're nothing but not me being negative about me. I don't hate me at all. And it seems that, and I'm not thinking I'm the only one who is it's like this for. I'm not trying to get the message out. But if it happens too, then that's just more proof that, because it's not like I'm pushing this shit. it's not like there's really even a purpose to this channel. And I'll never make a statement or step down, so. But there's something, like, it's very possible. Some of you can fucking believe this. I'm on Reddit all the time. I don't think it's blocked off, I don't think it's a fucking intranet like a company would have. I think that I'm seeing other people. I think that part of the experiment is to be not there. I think a cousin of mine who went total fucking schizophrenic, if I have any videos, and I don't like having videos on him because one of his delusions is cameras is on him, so I don't put up videos. When I do them, it's kind of so people would know what happened. Because he wants to kill me at the same time he thinks I'm saving him. Like anybody else can say they're related to the thing, and they all feed into it, and they were all throwing it back and forth. And I think that was a betrayal on our part. I did it too, but I do think it was a betrayal on our part to go against RJ. Just to forsake him, really. In a way, he's right about me. But I've recently stood up for him. I've recently, and I'm not consenting to any of it. It's like I told myself, like, I wasn't going to feed into Elizabeth's horseshit. In a way, I think, see, he always says that he's dying on the cross for it. He's changed it to everybody. But he makes them me. And sometimes I think it is just fuck about things. He does. Because he does not give a fuck. He could totally lean into that. But he wants a reason to lean out. He doesn't want to lean out. He wants a reason to lean out. But he doesn't want to lean in. He doesn't want to get out of the frying pan and into the fucking fire. Because he knows there's some shady undercurrent shit. And he was about to tell me. Because somehow it's more centric on me. So his delusions of me are never actually delusions that he had. Or any kind of attachment. But he inferred through this and this. A lot of people, see, Megan, would you tell me a long time ago, Junko? And me and Junko, we don't know this. Everything's a psychiatric test with her. But she's clear in such a way where this could be a big shutter off on this experiment. And by being friends with her, I think she has few of Brittany, and I won't say her last name, we'll call her Mercy Fade. And Junko both knew. And Brittany said, fuck it. That's why Brittany disappeared. And every girl's like, I'm not like other girls. Oh, you're so not like other girls, let me tell you. Not really, most everybody is not and is. The way that they say that they are. But those motherfucking girls did not. And I was like, I don't hang out with girls. They didn't. Not saying it's a bad thing. That's what I do mostly. Yeah, like, even if you include the narrative, which I hate to think of it. Somebody's outside. There's a bug like in here right now. That's the reason I'm mentioning this. So I'm making it bigger than it is, maybe I'm not. They seem to have a lot of resources. But see, that what they want you to do is connect everything to everything, then to you. And that's why the easy man's response is going to be like, well, what the fuck's so special about you, buddy? And the only difference between you and those people is those people think there's no difference between you and them. There is. I'm not saying we have a commonality. But I could not say the only difference between me and you, if you're a person. I don't give a shit how you're reacting to it. If you're a person watching this outside of me, and you made it this far. Smash that what? No, I don't give a shit. I'm actually anti-spreading it. So if the shit got spread, I would get private, and then, because it's not like there needs to be a disclosure. Ancient blood, it's patient blood, we were here before the flood. And I'm almost sure, now that sounds like a typical psychotic delusion. I'm almost sure there's fucking certain bands that know, terrorized everything in my eyes, left them there, boy. And artists that know. And I don't think they're speaking directly to me, but kind of. So, like, isn't that what they say about everybody that goes crazy? And what if, Like, okay, then statistically, what are the chances that there are certain individuals that that are being communicated with through? For me, it's not pop culture. I wonder if they're mad because I stopped feeding that. Like, this is after I wasn't around anybody like watch TV or anything. I stopped feeding that anything. I stopped knowing the news, politics. I had developed opinions on politics, but never strong ones. I don't have an opinion on a single issue today. Not even if you say like Nazis. You can say whatever. You can say cannibalism. Like, okay, a bunch of people killing an albino in Africa and eating because they're albino and offending it, but fuck that. Fuck those people. Why are they going to get powers? I don't know. We're going to try to prevent. We want to prevent both those things, if so. Because you don't want those people to have any kind of power who are willing to eat a living person because of a pigment. That was actually kind of really cool looking, honestly, the whole hair and eyes. I don't know, I think they have problems with the sun that I don't understand the paint, but I mean, I'm just saying, aesthetically, it's pleasing. Missy is near albino. I don't know if there's a way of being that, but her skin is very white. It's, like, not white as snow, not white as the albinos I've seen, but the albinos I've seen have all been black. That didn't make any sense. Anyway, I'm just rambling in this video. I know about the Kawasaki software update. I know why. Alright, so let me also tell you this. If you've got anybody in your life who could seem to, the night before, care less, right? But you can't get away from these motherfuckers. You're not really trying to get away from these motherfuckers. But without drastic measures, you cannot get away from these motherfuckers. You know, they were howls and they were not coyotes. My coyotes are in my head. Where's those fucking 4chan threads where the guys got this really insanely good paranormal tales? I used to think those were bullshit, and then a lot of weird shit started happening to me. I can't remember if it was Latrin, Canis Latrin. I love all those. Maybe they were fiction. I don't know. Maybe not, though. Because a lot of weird shit started happening to me when I was about 2011. 10 years ago, at about I'd say December 20. See, I'm at Mid-Zion. Okay, it was cold because just a few days later the fountain was frozen. It's gotta be really cold to get cold in Georgia, even if you're in the mountains, to get really cold, snow. And it was snowing. It did snow. Mom was working in motels. It lightly snowed. It was like you could see flakes among the river in Helen, Georgia. And yeah, I drop all kind of regional hints. There's already been telling what region this is. And yes, I do think the region has something to do with it. And yes, I do think that in a sense, for at least in a stand of my life, maybe forever, I was literally a plant. So they had to plant plants. Plants as in sense, like a fucking spook, not the racial slur. An FBI agent. This old term for an FBI agent. Probably more of a fucking Jew, honestly. Or some, sin, skin, or Tash McGavish, or some shit, Anyway, Tex Watson. That sounds like it could be one. Is that taken already for a Fed? Yeah, it is. So it's like that. They do that all over the place. Pretty much every cult leader that ever thought of anything, and especially if they mentioned the musical scales, such as, and yeah, usually that system works. They get them to go absolutely crazy and do Jim Jones type shit. So in a way, yeah, Jim Jones did that, but yeah, that's not where the trajectory was headed because he was a charismatic. This is what they do to prophets, to singers of transfiguration, in my case. Not just prophets. And a pusher. Like Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver. Like a stage where they set you up. Not to fail, because there is no success. The only choice is we live. Don't think about dying. It's not scary either, though. I mean, I say that now. I'm not sure fear of death like anybody would. But I'd probably also kick in self-preservation for that. Maybe not die. So you can have free will on something that's inevitable. In that such way, we are all gods. So like if it is people watching me, here's what I think they sold out to something. Don't sell out to this. Wow. Oh, wow. She met Benji today and I was like, you're lucky there's a fence. Bedouin. So the question is, if they burned the camper, did they kill the man? Did they wax the Larry?